we're doing direct hiring for employers in Australia. When we're thinking of moving abroad, one country that I hear from most of my audience, people that I meet everywhere, tends to be Australia. And for all obvious reasons. It's English speaking, the weather seems to be amazing, it's closer to what we call back home, it is in the Oceania region, and it is truly the land down under. Truly cut off from the world, very unique in its own way. This is Australia. And Australia has some amazing updates, not just from the country perspective, but also for us as Globalogy. We're also able to offer a lot of amazing services within Australia. That's why in today's video, I want to talk about 5 amazing ways that you can use to move to Australia. And I promise you, this is not going to be the usual content. So if Australia is on your mind, make sure you stick around. Hello and namaste, my name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time stopping by, thank you so much for doing so. And if you are a regular viewer, thank you so much for spending time with me yet again. My name is Nidhi, I am a finance professional, a digital creator, and also the CEO and founder of Globalogy. At Globalogy, our mission and vision is very simple. Anyone, anywhere in the world should be able to move abroad. And to help your move abroad dreams come true, we offer a variety of solutions, including job support service, direct job placements, underrated pathways like job seeker visas and some special visas that many people don't know about, permanent residencies, business migration, and more. If you need any support in your moving abroad journey, please make sure you check the description box for all the amazing options that we have to offer to you, and we will customize solutions for your profile so you can give us your info and we will also be in touch. And now let's talk about Australia. So I'm going to give you 5 options that you can use to move to Australia. Obviously, all of these will not work for everyone, but some of these will work for someone. So make your pick accordingly. Now let me start with option number 1. This is specifically for nationals of India, China, and Vietnam, and obviously a lot of nationals of other countries like Europe, Canada, etc. This works for all of them. This is the work holiday program that Australia has launched. You can apply for your own work visa without needing any sponsorship and move to Australia for 2 years and work for anyone you want, and eventually transition onto a permanent residency if you would like that. While this was always in existence for other countries like the European countries and Canada, for India, Vietnam, and China, this is a relatively new announcement. Let's look at it together. In India, this program is called Mates. This is the page that we have. This is the government website, as you can see. Again, just a quick reminder, always look at government immigration websites for immigration updates. So this is the Australian Government Department of Home Affairs, and then this is the Working Holiday Maker program, and you can see this is the new Work and Holiday Subclass 462 visa pre-application ballot process. We're going to talk about how this works, but you can see on 16 September, India officially joined the Working Holiday Maker visa program. This is a new process, new visa, and this is currently for China, Vietnam, and India. If you're from Europe and Canada, then this doesn't apply because these have limits in terms of how many nationals of these countries can apply. But if you're from Europe or Canada, you have no limits. Just go and apply and get that visa on your own. This one also you can do on your own, but this one has limits. You have to go through lottery, and there's a little bit more work. So let's look at it together. On October 1st, they decided that they're going to do separate ballots for India, China, and Vietnam. And I'm just going to pick one country, which is India, just because that's my home country. From 1st October 2024, eligible Indian passport holders can register in a visa ballot. Each year, they're going to pick 1,000 people that are aged between 18 and 30, and they can then visit Australia for 1 year, undertake work, and then if they want to study, that's also fine. And if they meet certain requirements, they're eligible to apply for a subsequent work and holiday visa. If you want to understand more of the pre-application process, you can go to this link. And here you can see how this process works. So first you have to create an IMEI account. You must be between 18 and 30. You must have a valid passport. If you're an Indian national, you must have a PAN card. If you're a Vietnamese passport holder, then you must have your national ID card. You must have a valid email address, and you must be willing to pay the registration fee of 25 Australian dollars. Once you do this, you'll be entered into a ballot. There'll be a lottery system. 1,000 people will be picked, and then you will be invited to apply. If you get invited and you decide to go through it, the process can be expensive. It is almost about 1,000 Australian dollars, but still not a crazy investment when you compare it to something like a study permit. Just so that you know, the ballot currently is closed, but it will be reopened again. So you might want to keep looking at it. This is the ballot status. It's currently closed, but they are going to run these ballots every 3 to 6 months. So I would take a look back at it in January and then also in March of 2025. Now, if this pathway doesn't work, then I have option number 2, the second pathway that I recommend, which is the standard permanent residency. This is something that Globalogy can help you with. I will link the PR form down for you. Only and only if you believe that you are eligible to get a positive skill assessment, go ahead with your profile. You can actually also do this process by yourself if you want. It is quite cumbersome to do it yourself, but one thing to keep in mind is that your education and experience must align, and you must be in an in-demand occupation. You must be on the SOL list. So please make sure of that. I will show you guys the website itself, like the government website, so that you can get started on your own, or at least read up if you want to. So this is the subclass 190. This is to live in Australia as a permanent resident. It says the cost is about 5,000 Australian dollar, but this is not something that you have to pay upfront. This is only when you complete the process. So this is the overall cost that you will incur over the next 1 to 2 years to become a permanent resident. And these are the requirements. You must have an occupation on a relevant skill list, skill assessment, and then satisfy the points test. There's also a regional equivalent of this. So subclass 491, which is again very similar to the 190 that we saw. The cost is also the same, just that this is meant to live in the regional part of Australia. Now, what if permanent residency seems too expensive or too lengthy or too cumbersome? Then what do? Well, then I have pathway number 3, which is applying to Australia on a work visa. While the PR is going to be on the basis of a skill list, we saw that on the eligibility criteria. They're going to streamline the work visas, introduce 3 new work visas as long as you meet their income requirement, make it possible for anyone to get a work visa in Australia. Let's look at those changes together. So this is the Australia migration strategy, and you can see it was announced on November 7th. Let's look at what the government is trying to do. They've released their migration strategy, and they're going to provide a roadmap to long-term reforms to be implemented starting in 2024. In this, they're going to have a new skills in demand visa. So the SID visa, SID visa is what we're calling it in the world of moving abroad, with 3 pathways based on foreign workers' proposed earnings. They're also going to streamline the labor market testing. They're going to establish a new agency, new point system. So a lot of things seem to be in flux, but let's look at the visas itself. So they're going to come up with a visa category to replace 482. 482, if you guys remember, was created during the pandemic time, the temporary skill shortage. They're going to replace that with SID, the skills in demand visa, and they're going to create 3 visas in that. They're first going to have a specialist skill pathway. If you're earning at least AUD 135, this will be expedited processing. You're eligible to apply. Then there is the core skill pathway. This is going to be the bulk of people. If you're making anywhere between 70,000 to 135 annually, then this is for you. And then essential skills is more for critical industries. If you're earning less than 70,000, but you're in a critical industry with a higher focus on regulation and then making sure that there's no foreign worker exploitation, then the essential skill pathway would apply to you. But in short, this is all going to be dependent on your income and not so much on what you do or what you've studied, which is the permanent residency part of it. Of course, if you want to apply for permanent residency, you want to sponsor yourself, then you want to make sure that you are on a skill in demand. But otherwise, everybody can apply for this. And if you're thinking of how you move to PR, you can then apply for an employer-sponsored PR or a state-sponsored PR or a global talent visa. A lot of other options that open up once you're onshore in Australia. Now, to get any of these visas, you will have to go through the regular drill of applying for jobs online, finding opportunities, networking with people, building a strong resume, getting that opportunity that you're really looking for, and then you can go ahead and apply for any of these 3 visas. Now let's talk about option number 4, and something that I am supremely proud of. This is the direct hiring that we're doing in Australia for Globalogy. Now we're doing hiring for healthcare workers. The salary offered is anywhere between 70,000 to 100,000 Australian dollars per year. We're looking at nurses, some special support workers as well, but mostly people who can work as nurses, occupational therapists. All of this information is going to be in the Google form, so you can go ahead and check that. But in terms of eligibility, we want to make sure that you have at least 2 years or more of experience. We want to make sure that you have experience letters, your resume together, and you must be NCLEX certified to apply with us. Now, in our process, there are a lot of benefits. You're first going to move on a bridging visa. About 3 to 6 months after that, you will be able to move on to a skill in demand or a temporary skill visa, whatever is in place then. And thereafter, you will be able to call your family. We also have a lot of other benefits like employer support to writing, OSCET, accommodation, visa sponsorship, bunch of those benefits as well. The fact that we've been able to get healthcare today is testament to the fact that we will be able to get more opportunities elsewhere in Australia next. These are all consulting contracts that we're winning, and if we're able to fulfill these, we're going to get more and more demand. So I'm number one, very, very proud of where we have come as a small bootstrapped company. That's a conversation for another day. I know I don't talk about how much hard work goes behind the scene, but there's a lot of work that goes behind the scene that sometimes is not evident through videos, and sometimes it's difficult to convey. And in general, I'm not somebody who likes to talk about how hard we work as a team. But the fact that we've started having so many direct placements and we started having so many consulting contracts, I'm sure it tells you how much we have grown as an organization as well. So that was my tiny little rant about Australia. If you are from a particular field and you're interested in Australia, please let us know in the comments, because we are currently bidding on some contracts and trying to get some contracts. And if you are from a particular field that we get a contract on, we will be able to contact you immediately. So please let us know that. And if you want us to try any other country, well, healthcare, we're going to probably also start UK very soon, but also in conversation with many other countries. So if you're in healthcare, you don't want to go to Australia, you want to go to some other place, let us know that, and we'll tell you if we have that on our roster or not. All right, so this is the fourth pathway. Again, a detailed Google form will be in there for you guys to look at, review, make your notes, etc. And now let's talk about the fifth pathway. This only applies to Indian nationals currently at the Australia India Centre, which is an initiative that was launched recently. It's completely funded by the government of Australia to help build on the existing Australia-India relationships. Now keep in mind, this is not something that's just happening with India. I'm sure if you go and look, say if you're from an Oceania country like Indonesia, Timor Island, Singapore, Malaysia, if you go and check, you guys also have a lot of treaties and policies and special agreements and arrangements with Australia. You just have to go looking for it. If you're from SAARC, the South Asia area, again, you guys also have some treaties, probably not as strong as what India has, but definitely some treaties that exist. So I want to show you guys the Center for Australia-India Relations. So this is the one. Whenever you have time, go ahead and look through the website itself. Currently what's open is the Maitri Fellowships. This one's currently open, and then it supports leading policy researchers to undertake secondments with prominent Australian and Indian think tanks. This is a completely work visa sponsorship opportunities, and Indian nationals can apply to this. And this will involve you working in an Australian think tank on ground. Again, it's a very new program. I think they've only done it once, and it's the second year of them doing it. They have 3 fellowships. The inward fellowship is for 12 months, and then the outward is for Australian researchers to go to India, and then there's a 2-way fellowship, 2 years. In terms of eligibility, nothing crazy. You must be an Indian national without permanent residence in Australia. You should be able to participate in all their events, and then you must be able to maintain a valid temporary activity visa, which is subclass 408 research stream for the duration. In terms of applications, super simple to do. The current dates are 25th September, applications open, 25th November, they close, Jan and Feb 2025 is when you get to know the results. If you want to apply, you just have to create a profile on their website, Smarty Grants. Again, I'll link everything on the screen, so go ahead, take a screenshot, and then you can create a new application and fill all the info in by 25th November. Just in case you have any questions to complete this process, you can always send them an email. I would not recommend sending silly questions, so please be very careful with the kind of questions you choose to send them. But yes, that's also an option. If you're selected, you will get an opportunity to work with an Australian think tank onshore in Australia on a 408 subclass visa, so visa sponsorship is also included. And on that note, this super informative video has also come to an end. I hope I've been able to share 5 amazing ways of you being able to move to Australia with or without family, however you choose. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments below what other countries would you like us to cover, and if you want us to start with direct job placements. Now, fingers crossed, and maybe this time I have you guess. Please guess what is the next field that we're working on. We're going field by field. I'm really hoping we get more and more consulting contracts. We've already gotten quite deep in Europe. We're hoping UK, Australia is next, followed by which country? I should not say. There's a lot of conversation going on, but very exciting time for us at Globalogy. For anybody that has associated with us in any way, we're so grateful, and we really hope that we're able to make this dream only bigger by each day. Oof, this was an emotional video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you found this video informative. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, please, you take very good care of yourself and stay well. Take care. Namaste.